Hey, what's happening? Just checking on everything, man, seeing how everybody doing. I know I hadn't been around for a week or so. I just been compiling, as they say, my tea bags just so I can drop them in some hot water. But they brewing, they brewing. So just because you don't see me, or just because you don't see uh, me jump on here, doesn't mean I'm not fighting or I'm not working. And for those of you who think that you can put a bull in my pasture, or so to speak, you know what I mean? I think that you're mistaken. I don't think that you know who I am or the depths of my will to get things done and or change. I just I'm just waiting. You know, and so when people send me stuff, uh, most of the time I try to verify it as much as I can, but I only post what they send me. So you know what you've done. You know what I mean? Better than they know what you've done, and certainly better than I know what you've done. So I just want to say that, yeah, the good fight is still on. And, and even though a lot of people down there are my friends, I know that there are a lot of water moccasins, walking around, waiting on the opportunity to bite. And first time I ever seen a train one, you know what I mean? To where you do the bidding for somebody else. But the thing is, you got a problem with me, man, come see me. If you don't like what I said about your master, I mean, your your Batman or your Robin or whoever, pick up the phone and call me, man. So that opportunity still stands. If you're complicit or if you're not reporting some of the things that they've done that you know to be illegal with all of your years in correction and experience, then you're just as guilty. Um, when you arbitrarily stop people from filing EOC complaints and you give them to the people that they're against, then you are in the way and you allow them. And so, with that being said, I think that you, Batman, and you, Robin, need to be more concerned with what your family is doing, what or trying to not trying to cover up or explain to why you only got one race of guys living at the family at the guest house right next to yours, or why are you taking offenders off ground to your hometown to West Point for a joyride in the state vehicle, or why you have your animals on state property eating state horses feed, and why there are people who have not been assigned to CID out gallivanting around on state property. Those horses are state property, And so, and when I say that the wave or tide of justice is going to roll through and around, I assure you that sooner or later, it will. It will roll around. You'll have to explain how you took the workers 10%, yet and still, yet and still, you're allowing them to build a new pavilion that's only going to be access, for you. You know what I mean? What's up? What's up, sis? So I just think that you, Batman, and you, Robin, you know what I mean? Um, I know that, one of your Batmobiles had to be repo. I mean, you didn't pay your superheroes fees or what was it? You know what I mean? Were you making too many trips uh, into town in it, or for whatever reason it was, or for whatever reason it was. That's not mine. That's not my business. But you know what you're doing wrong. You know that's illegal. One other thing I want to address with you, Robin, is that you keep on talking to other people about me when you can get my phone number. You know what I mean? You can go out to the chapel and get it from Rhodes or Watts or there's several people there, or your uh, deputy wardens. They all have my number. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the same number that you had when you called me asking me about different things that were going on at 29. You know what I mean? And so I don't understand how you guys can pass ACA when the people never went out to 29F bill and see the 5 gallon buckets. Maybe they should do ACA on a rainy day and walk through, or maybe they should go out to G building and see and check the temperature. Let maintenance go out there and turn the temperature on out there at G building and see. When you got people out there that need their medicine, they can't even get to the doctor. You know what I mean? So I think that you need to run your own house. And shouts out to the what's up, John? How you doing, little brother? All the guys at 29, man, who are enduring the horror and the suffering, the pain and suffering that they're doing at Unit 29 and those long-term segregation, to where the commissioner promised to have air within a year. You know what I mean? He at the church, he promised to have air before he promised you to give you a church. The church is open, but you still got the guys out there at 29 suffering in the air. You know what I mean? With no air, so to speak, with 100-degree temperature. The same thing that caused one of the death row inmates to commit suicide here back in 2021, when the heat was so hot that it was unbearable. You know what I mean? And so, but all of your token units that you have, to when you bring the people from ACA or the media through, and you take them out to 30 and you see them, you let them see the units that have air conditioning. Yet still, the public thinks 29 is closed completely. But there are several units that are still open. Hey, what's up, cuz? How you doing? And so I think that you need to get your own act together. And you can't put a bull in this pastor. You know what I mean? I'm gonna speak my mind when I want to speak my mind, and I'm gonna say what I want to say when I want to say it. And for the record, just because you don't see me doesn't mean I'm not fighting. I'm swinging blows in the dark. That's one that's gonna land on your chin, Mr. Superhero. You know what I mean? You're right here perpetrating, then you think just because you ease up the way that you talk to people that you still got a black heart, man. You still got a black heart. You know what I mean? And you're still arbitrarily putting your feet on my people's neck through other people. That whatever you're doing for them or to them under the table, you know what I mean? And you're still arbitrarily doing that, man. You got to quit doing that. So stop using our own people like they used to do in slave days. What's up, Bob? How you doing? How you in the chat doing? Uh, and you're complicit in a lot of things. And I'm just talking about you because there are bullets or cartoon bullets. When you see people, when you see cartoon and people have some over their head, you're still saying things, but you're not saying it to me. You know what I mean? And so when you want to say something to me, you can call me. You can inbox me. Just like somebody inbox me. Some of your people inbox me. And you got a question that you want to ask me, but you just can't keep treating people, you know what I mean? Finally, it's just that's because you, Mumford, and us have still we've been putting so much pressure on them. So if just because you promoted 2 people who are, what's up, Chris? How you doing? I'm gonna need you in a minute, man, with that Catholic school thing in Mount Bayou. So get those plan draws up for me so we can get on that before the end of this month. So just because you promote 2 token females after you give the dog employee of the month, just because we've been putting pressure on you about the things that you've been doing wrong, and we're not through. And we're not through. Just as soon as I sit down with these legislatures, you know what I mean? Oh, well, that's what cowards do. You know what I mean? They throw their rock and hide their hand. So, but we can meet. We can meet and have tea together. Whenever he has a chance to, we can meet and have tea together. But and just because you stand there, you still beside people that I reached out to come in and do a program at 29. You know, you weren't too anti against me to stand up with people that I still sent to minister to the guys down there. You know what I mean? It wasn't because of you. It was because of my love for, one of your chaplains there. And so I'm going to always point him to people who want to come in and minister to God, the lost souls out there. You want to oppress the officers when in fact you ought to be trying to uplift the spirit and morality of the men and women who protect and serve, and the men and women who have been sentenced to be served there. You know, I'm not saying all of them are perfect people, but they're still human. So you gotta still take care of them. You know what I'm saying? You just can't come around and ride and gallivant over to Bayou Academy in your government vehicle on state gas, or what you do, how you let white inmates do and black inmates, the difference that you treat them. You know what I mean? They're the same too, because they've been sentenced by the same justice court, the same court. You know what I mean? They've been sentenced by 12. They wasn't sentenced to be punished while they are in prison. So you arbitrarily moving them and shifting them from here in prison to prison to protect your good name or to hide the fact of some of the things that you're doing. You know what I mean? It's still not right. You're shipping men and women away from their families who are from the Delta. You know what I mean? You got people right now at 29G and L that needs to get to the doctor. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's just a small thing, though. That's a small thing, Mantra. You know what I mean? And so, if you haven't, go back and look at the videos. But I told you, you know, uh, the wheels of justice are turning, and the the pressure is mounting, and it's not going to continue. So just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I'm not applying pressure. And I am pressure. You know, I was born and raised and lived under pressure for a long time. And so I think that you think because I eased up verbally or visibly, you know what I mean, that I wasn't turning the wheel or tightening the screw. The screw is going to keep tightening because people are still complaining about the things that you're doing. Just because you have eased up a little bit or softened your tone and approach, man, your heart is still shining black. You know what I mean? So you gotta stop. You gotta stop doing it. And what I post, when somebody send me, you deal with it. I'm just telling you what people are saying, what people are showing you. I'm showing you what people are saying. You know what I mean? Only a bit of it. So if I gave you 1%, you better believe it's 99 more where that's coming from. But it's going to the legislature, Shad White, and the rest of the people. It's not my job. I'm gonna just put it in the hands of the people, that's going to do what they need to do with it. You know what I mean? But I'm just letting you know, I'm giving you, how they say it, fair warning to where you can clean up your act, straighten up your act, or move, get out the way. You know what I mean? You're nobody's superhero, man. You're not above correction. You owe a lot of people there an apology for how you tried to put them in harm's way. You know what I mean? So if you're too big of a man to apologize, then I think that you deserve the judgment that's going to be coming your way. And however it may come, it's not my job. And you know, you know what I mean? So you know the things that you're doing wrong. You and your partner in crime, your Batman. Can you see the light? Look in the sky a little partially, and so you can see the bat signal. You know what I mean? So when the Joker get his turn, And when judgment falls on him, the walls of Jericho will start falling. You know what I mean? From SMCI with Brad Huffman and things that he's doing down there, the people that he'll let it go. How can you just the same thing that you're doing there when the white nurse got caught with contraband, but you send the young man who came in with a pair of headphones, you take him down to the Sunflower County Jail. But the white nurse who came in with the contraband, you pat her up. Oh, you just made a mistake. Go home, just wait a year and you come back and apply for a year. No write up in the paper. The same thing that you do all over the state. Same thing at SMCI. You got a white nurse sleeping with an offender. She gets sent home, no time, no charge, no anything until the public outcry. Then you come back, but you still didn't charge her with a sex crime. You charge her because she admitted to bringing in contraband to the offender at SMCI. You know what I mean? But you still posted the black female's picture all over the paper with a big write-up of saying she was doing this. But it's the same two incidents with different types of I guess ways that you dealt with it or whatever. You know, so you got a way of dealing with white corrupt official than you do black. Because people can say that somebody black and African American is doing something wrong. Then you're going to either terminate them using your so-called quote unquote Mississippi at will policy, or you're going to try to prosecute them to the fullest. You know what I mean? And so I think that that's the difference. The same way that the same way that you, when you were at CMCL, did when you were allegedly, let me use the word allegedly, because until I get that DNA proof and find the right doctor that performed that abortion, and I will, because I don't think that you know how deep my resources go and how my desire to get to the bottom of it or get to the truth is greater than your need to oppress my people. And when I say my people, I'm saying those people, black and white, who want to do right by state law, state policy, and the state MDOC. I'm not talking about my dysfunctional people who follow your word and use their power through you, and you being a puppet, and you still oppressing people at 29, at 30. You know what I mean? And you got Bill Clinton, uh, Doty, uh, committed heinous act against her own personnel, slamming them in front of the superintendent, and he don't even have the balls to even chastise her and correct her. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I think that when you can stand by and let injustice happen in your door, in your office, and you're not doing anything about it, and that was your own people. You know what I mean? But because she didn't want to violate policy, you know what I mean? She said she couldn't do it because it violates policy. Then your cohort that came from the feds, that was a case manager, but now she's down here pretending like she knows something about correction. Federal correction and state correction is a whole different monster. I know because I served 23 years in federal prison and I worked for the MDOC for 3 years. It's two different scenarios. She's not qualified to come into Mississippi, no matter who, quote unquote, invited her there. In the money trail, you coming out of probation, Batman, and coming and think that you know anything about correction. I don't understand uh, how you think screaming and hollering is a form of leadership. I don't understand how name calling and lying is a form of leadership. Man, be honest with the people. You say there's no money. I say there is because there are people out there working every day with the maintenance truck um, out by the fish pond. You know what I mean? For whatever purpose that you're building it for. You say there's no money. You say there's no money, but then you, uh, Mr. Batman, you and other staff are eating free every day at the place when other staff have to pay for their food, and you got other inmates that are eating right along with you and beside you. doing your, I won't say dirty work, doing your so-called good deed. So they're eating the same thing that you're making other staff pay for. Yet and still, when you terminated a young lady because she allegedly bought uh, an offender a hamburger or something for doing some work for her, yet and still you buy your inmates food every day where you allow them to eat for free. And that's even worse because they're not even paying for it. You know what I mean? And so you reward people for doing things around the compound under the table. And how can one of the offenders go to Tutwiler or Drew and use a gas card to buy gas and go inside and buy him food? Yeah, it's on the tape. Yeah, it's on the tape. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that when the pictures are shown and the pictures are seen from Delta, from Tutwiler, from Drew, and from CMCL, how you are taking you. When I say you, I'm saying you and upper level MDOC staff. How is it that we have 8 major prisons and there's not one black superintendent? And with the average population of, except SNCI, CMCF, and MDOC, with the population being roughly 85 to 86% African American staff and about the same number of inmates. How is it that there are no leadership people of color running at either one of those institutions? So you giving 2 females the title of major and a couple of extra dollars on your check doesn't stop you from being a racist. It's just point blank. Ain't no other way to say it. You know, a spade is a spade is a spade. You know what I mean? So when you get ready to talk to me, you can talk to me. Man, you're walking away where I grew up at. So I'm from the Mississippi Delta. You from the hills, man. Going back to West Point. You know what I mean? So the things that you did that are illegal, that you're punishing people for. You know, I tell people this all the time, and it's public record. You know, so it was said that it was shown that while you served as SMCI, and I got the policy, and I'll be sure the next time I jump on, I'll read it out to you loud in case you don't know, in case you don't know it, or in case you didn't know it before you took the helm of superintendent down at CMCL. It says that no staff shall supervise a relative or any known person that he knew before that person became incarcerated. It should be immediately known, and that offender should be shipped to another institution. Well, your father was at 720 unit on B1B, and you had 9 assigned offenders taking care of him, hand and foot, every day. You know what I mean? And arrested. So it wasn't his fault. And I honor you for being wanting to take care of your your dad while he was incarcerated. However, your willful violation of policy shows that you don't care anything about right and wrong. You care more about doing what you want to do, whether it violates policy or not. The same thing that you're doing, the same thing or the same mentality that you took to MDOC. Like when you packed up all the field medicine and brought them to the chapel and threatened to send them off because they wouldn't comply with your dishonest rule, or how you had your underling Robin to lock up Jerry Meditol when he wrote the judge asking for everybody wants to be free. You said that you have a heart for people who are incarcerated. Then how can you not want one of those guys to fight for their freedom? But yet and still, you took an offender, according to the transfer, with you from there to West Point. Now, He wasn't physically able to do any labor, any manual labor. You know what I mean? Because of his condition. So how were you able to take him from Parchman to West Point? Was you took him sightseeing? And we're talking about an offender who's black and white and had a life sentence. You know what I mean? You know his crime. You know, and so I wonder how would the family of the victim feel if they knew you did that. You know what I mean? And the dude is a good dude. Whether he committed the crime, I don't know. I didn't sit on his jury. I didn't investigate his case. However, MDOC sentenced him to a life sentence. You know what I mean? Without the possibility of parole, not life without the possibility of parole. So I just wonder how were you because you were superintendent, you were able to do that because you wanted to do it, or just that's what you felt like doing. You know, and like I said, man, he's good people, but you willfully violating the policy and procedure that the MDOC has in place shows that you have no regards for policy. Is your way or the highway? Or as you said, you know, I'm your daddy. If you don't like it, then you can get gone. Or you can get your people in. I can get my people and we can meet somewhere in the middle. Your words, not mine. You know what I mean? So that was just let you know, man, I'm not going anywhere. Just because you don't see me. It's a whole stack right here. Right here, sir, that I'm working on. It's three folders, three major folders. MDOC, Imparchment, CMCL, SMCI. And I'll see you soon. Get your tea, get your tea, get your tea. Man, it's late. I just had to tell you that because a little bird flew down here and said that you and Batman were having secret meetings in the guest house and you're whispering. So stop letting my name come up in the middle of your conversation. Worry about what's going on inside and not out here with me. You know, I appreciate it. If you're going to do crime fighting, do it at 29, do it at 30. You know what I mean? I'm sure. Why wasn't all the contraband that was found in front of 30 uh, on the news or in the report? You know, why wasn't that? Why was it so important to take a young African American male? You didn't put it on the news when you went into one of your officers that worked in the kitchen to file a complaint on a white inmate there whose daddy happened to be friends of the commissioner. When you went into her house and took her son to jail without her being there, he was a minor. You took him to the Sunflower County Jail and they kept him on no charges. And he stayed there 3 days. You know what I mean? So how did you allow them to do that? You know what I mean? Why did you do that? Kids that live on the ground, they don't have anywhere to go. So you don't want him to go to, he was given permission to go to the rec center and work out when there was no staff because he peeked in to check to see if there's no staff. You went and arrested him for trespassing and gave her what? 24 hours to move and get her stuff off ground. You know what I mean? When she was out at the unit, probably working a double in the kitchen, trying to get you a meal served, you know. But yet still, your family can go anytime they want and get their horse and ride and gallop across the field. Unsupervised, unsupervised, just them and other offenders, you know. And so what more needs to be said, man? I'll see you soon, Batman, and I'll be back with more tea, still applying pressure. You know, the reason a teapot whistle, because there's a lot of heat under it. So when I hear you whistle, you know what I mean? Then I know that you're ready for brewing. But it's coming, but it's coming, and it's coming. You know what I mean? Man, good night. You guys take care, man.